to another video. This time we're looking at PYR, Vulcan Forged. We're going to be looking at the 3-hour time frame, and then later towards the end we'll see what EngineeringRobo is telling us on the daily as well. So as you know, I like to switch over to line charts and draw my levels on the line chart because it's just a little bit more cleaner to see latest price action. So I am identifying levels of interests here and potentially where price has taken a pivot, where support has turned into resistance or resistance turned into support. So this is my manual levels which I've drawn here, and let's now focus in on the current kind of price movements. We saw earlier on from November that it was in a clear uptrend. It lost its first initial one there and then recaptured it here. But we can see that if we're drawing an uptrend there, it's kind of a momentum line, and slowly and surely the momentum was shifting or dropping. Now on the way down, we've seen Vulcan Forge kind of trying to break out here, consolidated, so we then reshift our trend lines. This one held true for a while, and then we've had a period of consolidation within a range of this between 298 and 348. That range has been lost, and just to kind of do a measured move down, we have come down right towards the bottom of the measured move, which was around the $2.47 mark. So what would I be doing now, and should we be looking at this from a 3-hour trade perspective? Let me get rid of the trend lines and let me switch on EngineeringRobo to give us an indication of what that is telling us. So from a social intelligence score, it's a -3 or a red 3. This isn't as bad as a red 5, and it is moving towards a more of a bullish direction, or an appetite, I was going to say. That's the social intelligence score. Smart money is balanced, so they're not completely out, but we don't have a consensus view of smart money holding this at the moment. Volume is low, which isn't really good for a coin that we're waiting to pump, and volatility is also on the low side. This isn't actually correlated to Bitcoin. I've seen currencies which are much more highly correlated. So just wanted to get an indication of what the AI dashboard is telling us. So -3 on a red, balanced. It's neutral on the 3-hour, and volume is low, volatility is low. All in all, it's not really saying too much there. I want to switch on now the candle views, and I'm going to get rid of my levels because these are drawn manually by me, but the orange ones or red ones have been drawn by the indicator, looking back at previous price action and Fibonacci levels and so much more. So what we can see here is the AI sell signal that has been painted recently. I say recent, it was beginning of January, feels like an age away. And had you been in the trade, that would have been an 11% move from the point of entry to the first kind of support zone. On the way down, that would have been a support zone, and it was red. Now where price has actually come down further, had you kept in that position, was looking at a 20% or thereabouts trade on this one. No buy signal at the moment for this, so it is not particularly bullish right now. But what we are seeing, which is what I love to see, is the candles changing color. So it's gone from green to red. If you've seen it in my previous videos, I always like to point this out. It goes from green, gray, didn't really drop any further, gray, and then we got the momentum back up. And then often the gray candle color does tell us the volume of interest in terms of prices going in a different direction potentially. So what would I be looking at right now? So I am actually keen to take maybe somewhere around the 50% level as a 10%, 20% entry for this on a 3-hour trade. Right now, I wouldn't go into this coin. I don't have enough confidence yet by the indicator telling me that it's positive. So I'm going to sit out for now and potentially add an alert around the 262 price point. What else is the indicator telling us? So we are currently quite some way from the last support level. And if I were to take that, that's about an 8% move downwards, something very doable in a day or two in terms of price action. So currently not in a trade or want to be in a trade, but what I do like to do is see where the hodl line is. Let's switch that on and to see, is it above or is it below? That's one thing I want to look at. We can actually get rid of our levels as well. I'll do that in a minute. I'll do that now actually. And the other thing I want to look at is the cloud, just to kind of give me an indication or where we are in relation to the cloud. You see, we're right above the hodl line. So this is a mixture of different moving averages as well as other calculations that have gone into this. And we're right on the middle of this range. We're currently still bearish, as indicated by the AI sell signal just before the cloud started turning red, and just after it had broken out of the hodl line or below the hodl line. So right now price is, I would say, in a small and tight range. This always indicates that a potential move is going to be exaggerated in the very near future. So what I am going to do is continue to monitor this. If it holds the hodl line and if it breaks over this red resistance line, then I will definitely be a buyer at 280. I think that is a coin that I'd be interested in. Okay, the other thing I like to kind of have a view on is where we are in terms of the stochastic indicator. Oh, if I just switch that off. We're currently right at the top. Now I want to see this reset a little bit. So for me, I don't want to be entering here. I'll either want to be entering in the middle or most preferably at the bottom. So if we can see that this was a bottom, this was a bottom here, but even though price went up or the stochastic indicator went up, the price itself wasn't reacting to that magnified move. So not interested here. I do want to see at least the stochastic come back down either to 50% level or to the level below 20 or below. Okay, so that was on the 3 hour. Let me check on the daily to see where we are on a daily perspective. And we are still ultra bearish. The volume and volatility is pretty much the same. There on the support line, if you're a swing trader, you're looking at $2. For me, I think if it were to reach those price points, I think it's a bit of a push, but anything can happen in crypto. And I think the realistic price point we're kind of looking at is around the 250 mark. So for me, just wanted to point out that there is a sell signal on the daily. Let's see where it is on the hodl line. Have we got enough data for this? I suspect it's underneath, because the 3 hour time frame was actually a little bit higher. Yeah, it's underneath the hodl line. So from a 3 hour perspective, I want to see it above, and then that will slowly start turning the daily one above. So still bearish, but potentially something that we could begin to consider. Hope you like this video. I'll be back for more updates on Woken Forged and other coins.